Ryan Blaney in that 12 Penske Racing Ford gets his second win of the season in dominating fashion at Echopark Atlanta Motor Speedway. In dramatic fashion, once again, he always seems to win in very close finishes on these super speedways. Finally got his first super speedway Atlanta win with one of the most dominating performances I've seen since maybe 2018, when all the Stewart-Haas cars pulled away from the rest of the field at Talladega. That car the 12 had, Blaney, ridiculous. Wins in a near 3-wide finish in overtime over Carson Hocevar. Bubba Wallace got a huge penalty. Christopher Bell chose to push Blaney, not Carson Hocevar, for Blaney to get his second win of the 2026 season. He's closing in on Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick for that championship lead. Welcome back to Mayhem Motorsports. I am Jake, and let's go over Echopark/Atlanta Motor Speedway because there's quite a lot to talk about. Ryan Blaney, 7 top 10s in a row coming into this race. The longest streak of his career, chipping away good finish after good finish. Still the best Ford in the field without a question. Penske brought some speed. All Penske cars qualified up front. They dominated the first stage. Blaney was just pulling them around the racetrack. The field got super spread out because those Penske cars were so fast. What was really interesting, though, as the race went on, when Logano and Cindric got caught back in traffic, their cars kind of fell back. They got in some dirty air, couldn't maintain that position, but Blaney, he could have been running 30th or running in the lead. That car was remarkable. There were so many times he was getting runs and making passes nobody else could. When somebody else finally passed him, Blaney would just get a rhyme in a couple laps. Didn't even need that big of a push. Just the runs that 12 car had were great. If Blaney was side by side with somebody else, for example, Carson Hocevar, the guy in third, would always push Blaney back to the lead because people don't want to help guys like Carson Hocevar because he gets in runs with a lot of drivers. 8 top 10s in a row now. A big win. Won both stages. It really was one of the strongest super speedway performances I've personally seen. Definitely the most dominating super speedway performance in the next gen era without any questions. That car was lights out. I think he led every lap in stage 1 over his teammates. Even when he got sucked back in traffic, he could just move his way up through the field. He even got put in the wall at one point by Bubba Wallace. He was pretty mad about that. I mean, he didn't really make contact with the 23, just a big block though, went into the wall. But even with the damage, his car was still super strong. Gets the massive push here from Bubba Wallace, his best buddy, by the way. 3 wide, Bubba Wallace makes this move too low, though, below the yellow line. That was deemed a penalty. I don't know about that because he went from third to third, but Bell surprisingly goes with Blaney. I thought Bell would have went with the 23, penalty or not, but, Toyotas. But Blaney gets the push on the outside. The outside lane seems to always get the advantage coming to the checkered flag in these side-by-side finishes. In this race tonight, no exception. Think back to when Suarez won this race a couple of years ago. He, with the top car in a 3-wide situation, got the run off the corner with the push. Bam. Big win for Ryan Blaney after a 3.5-hour rain delay. I was starting to fall asleep, but I knew I had to sit down and watch the rest of this race because I knew it was going to be a barn burner, and it was. I wish Carson got it, but again, doesn't have many friends on the racetrack, but what are you going to do? Let's go over some finishers real quick. The aforementioned Blaney. 171 laps led at Atlanta is ridiculous. The best super speedway we got in NASCAR. Runs are given out like candy. But Blaney just held his own out there. Could not be passed. That car was tuned up, man. I think he also, since he had a little nap during the rain delay, he was ready to go. Lights out, lost the lead, got the lead back, lost the lead, got the lead back. No one could control the pace like that 12 car. My sister's talking. But yeah, incredible. Are you fucking serious? C. Bell, another second place finish. I was surprised he went with Blaney rather than Bubba Wallace. Obviously, he's not going to push Carson Hocevar, but, I guess he just had the run on the top, split second decision, but he's going to obviously choose the 12 over the 77. He did, pushes his way to second place. That's his 4th or 5th second place finish. Bell is heating up at the right time. The only Joe Gibbs Racing driver to not have a win this season. It's going to happen. Carson Hocevar was one of the very few cars in this field that could kind of take the fight to Blaney. Passed him on several occasions, but Blaney's car was just so good, could run anywhere, the bottom, the top. 3rd place, if he got the help from the 20, maybe, but again, it's Carson Hocevar. Doesn't have many friends out there. So the 20's going to obviously choose a popular guy like Ryan Blaney, who's pretty well liked amongst the rest of the NASCAR community, over Carson Hocevar, who's probably the most polarizing and controversial driver at the time. Ty Gibbs 4th, Eric Jones 5th, 2 more Toyotas. Great days for those guys. Eric Jones is heating up, man. SVG 6th place. He almost took the lead coming to the white flag. 3 wide move, but it kind of stalled him out, stuck in the middle, which allowed Blaney to get that push from Bubba. Austin Dillon had a good qualifying effort, finished in 7th. Tyler Reddick still trying to get his points lead back, got some stage points. One of those cars early, kind of competing with Blaney. They actually were side by side in stage 1 when the rest of the pack was spread out. Reddick, a pretty solid day, good points, but he still trails Denny Hamlin in the regular season championship. Logano, I'm surprised he came back for 9th because there was like one point towards the end of the race he was back in like 30th. Again, Blaney was the strongest car, but his 2 teammates looked pretty good in that first stage, kind of playing defense, running 1, 2, 3. Once Blaney and Cindric got stuck back in traffic, though, they could not make any moves. Especially Cindric. I don't even know where he is on here. But Blaney had the car, man. Chris Buescher, another top 10. Bam. Let's go. Other notables, I guess we can point out in this race. Denny Hamlin, who's currently the points leader, finished 12th. Chase Elliott had some good speed, led a few laps, finished in 13th. The aforementioned Austin Cindric in 14th. William Byron had a little argument with his crew chief, Rudy Fugle, mid-race because his car was low-key running pretty bad, and he finishes 16th, kind of reflects his pretty bad day. He was barely mentioned in the broadcast besides that one point. I kind of forgot he was in this race, to be honest.
This is terrible. I heard you, okay? I heard you. I got it. Your 5 numbers loose. I put a round in the left rear. We're too tight right now. It's the slight offset. We can park it, or we can keep trying until I get to work on it again. Let's try the thing. You got it.
Todd Gilliland in 19th is notable because he is now in the semifinals for the in-season challenge. He'll be up against Chase Elliott. He beat Alex Bowman, who finished 22nd. So Todd Gilliland, the underdog story for this in-season challenge. He could win it. I mean, beating Chase Elliott might be pretty tough in North Wilkesboro, but we'll see. My boy, Daniel Suarez, 21st, he had speed at one point, then he took tires in the last pit stop, lost his track position. Got some stage points, though. These are the kind of runs you need to maintain your chase spot. I expect Suarez to finish somewhere like 12th, maybe 13th in the regular season championship. But if he just keeps clicking off okay days, staying out of trouble, a few stage points here and there at this rate with 6 races to go, he should make the chase. And that's all I ask. That's all I ask. I picked Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to get a top 10 and Zane Smith, who was beefing with Carson Hocevar after last week's race, to finish in the top 5. 23rd for Stenhouse, no show all night, and Zane Smith spun on the last lap, finishing 30th, so that's pretty, that sucks. I threw like $10 to win like $150 or something on those two to finish top 5 and top 10, respectively. They were literally no show. Zane Smith even went a lap down early. First race I've seen in Atlanta, cars were legitimately going a lap down on pace because the surface is getting so worn out now. Bubba Wallace, one of the few cars, again, who could challenge Blaney. He spun out in stage 2, made a mistake, tried to cut back down in front of the 54 of Ty Gibbs. He spun himself here. I know they argued post-race. Ty Gibbs was trying to say sorry, even though it wasn't really Ty Gibbs' fault. Like, Bubba just cut down for an aggressive move. And for what? You were coming to the end of the stage, might have lost 1 extra point, but then you costed yourself complete stage points. He drives his way back through the field, kind of put Blaney in the wall. He never touched Blaney, just put a bit of a late block, threw him up the racetrack, but they never made contact. And then that 3 wide move, like, I don't agree with the penalty because he never gained a spot. He didn't advance his position. He still finished 3rd, technically, but they deemed it a pass below the yellow line. A very late, abrupt move. I understand why he waited so long, because if he made it any more obvious that he was making a 3-wide move, Carson Hocevar is going for the block. So he tried to make it really abrupt, but in doing that, he kind of messed up below the yellow line. I don't personally agree with the penalty, but I don't know. It's just a shame. And I want to also go over, there was one wreck towards the end. Kyle Larson, I just don't understand what's going on with him these days. I think he's just lost some confidence since the last year with the Indy 500 double attempt. That was a complete failure. Running great all night, stage points. One of his best super speedway performances I've personally ever seen. Gets wrecked, not his fault. Comes back through the field, top 10 with fresh tires. Might get a good finish, maybe even the win. He was hauling ass. Nope. Just cuts in front of the 11 like he's not there, triggers this pile up. Riley Herbst involved, Chase Briscoe involved. It's just whatever, bro. It's just, what is he doing? This is awful. Just like, Get it together. You have so much speed, you have the talent, but you're just making rookie dumb mistakes. I can't keep defending your dumb mistakes. Please get it together. Please. Yeah, but the Cup race I thought was pretty good. A lot of people said this was the race of the year. This track is awesome with the next-gen car. The track's getting older. Handling matters more than ever now. So it's like that's why you saw Blaney lead so many laps. That car was trimmed out. But you saw when the track got cooler after the rain delay, there was more pack racing with handling aspects. That first stage was like, wow, they were really getting spread out more than they've ever had at this racetrack with this configuration. There were like 3 cars separated by like a handful of seconds. Cars were naturally going a lap down because the handling was so bad. They got the cars tuned up to the cooler temperatures. The racing was so good after that. I even thought the racing was fun in that first stage when there was just a couple cars battling for the lead at a plate track, like really, really old school Daytona and Talladega. I'm not the biggest Blaney fan. I'm going to be honest, I'm not. My buddy Maurice is. Good for him. But regardless, a fun race. A deserving winner. He was the best car, best performance of the night. For the sake that everyone loves Hocevar, it would have been cool for the sport to see Hocevar get a big win like that. Briefly mention, Truck Series. How about Grant Enfinger? Finally, 40-something races, winless streak, finally gets that first win in a long time at Lime Rock. I didn't get to watch that race live. I know there was a couple big pile-ups on the restart. This track's pretty good for the Truck Series. It seems to be getting in a lot of attention. People have said mostly positive things. Guys like Caden Honeycutt and Lane Rigg, the 2 dominant guys this season, you could argue that are full-time. They got taken out, simply, giving the chance for other guys to prevail, and that was Grant Enfinger. After all that chaotic wrecking and spinning, it's his first win of the year, first win in a long time. Good for Grant Enfinger. And that O'Reilly Series race, I have never seen, and I'm not lying here, at least in the O'Reilly Series side of things, a bigger joke of a race than that. I'm just going to go show you.
Too wide. Ooh, really got slow. Look how loose that car. Carapoli. Hang on. He's been out of Burton.
Dad Jeff won here a couple of times.
Brandon Jones.
Toward the, we got problems. Corey Day and Taylor Gray in a 54. 88 of Raja Caruth not going away.
Oh, what about Jeremy Clements almost saved it.
And there's the caution. I thought in love. And now we get caution number 8. 96, Anthony Alfredo. Look out, Jake Finch. Into the wall.
Position now.
Oh, there's a crash. Brent Cruz around. Sheldon Creed, the spring winner. Jesse Love, the reigning champ.
Oh, look at Austin Hill up the track.
Guys into the wall, and there goes Austin Hill around.
I tell you,
Caution is out.
He was out of shape a lap or 2 before that. Second row, Jeremy Clements.
Yeah. Clements is turned. We get a crash. We get a caution.
This race had 13 caution flags. 4 red flags. And not that I hate Justin Allgaier, but with all the cool, fun people that were up there, it ended up being just the Justin Allgaier win after all of that. Just the Justin Allgaier win. Like, really, I stayed up to like an extra 2 hours just to watch that. Brendan Poole would have been cool. Anthony Alfredo would have been cool. Nick Sanchez would have been cool, but nope. They all just took each other out. Just pulled away. Parker Retzloff came close, but they just kept wrecking. There was not like a green flag run over like 3 laps or 4 laps in that last stage. Just kept wrecking. And then guys who got wrecked came back on the track and wrecked. Then guys were blowing up. Guys were spinning out by themselves. A bunch of mild crashes, and the whole field just fell apart. Austin Hill got turned. People were happy with that, but even still, I was like annoyed. Because at least the comeback he made was pretty cool. It was just a bad night. One of the worst races I've seen. If you even call that a race, this race was ran 75% under caution at least. And to have the most generic of winners, yeah, this is one of the worst O'Reilly Series races I've personally ever witnessed in my entire life. North Wilkesboro. Again, short track. First time North Wilkesboro is having a point state in God knows how long years. It's been the all-star race the last few years. Finally a point state, well-deserved. Higher horsepower, 750. I'm looking forward to that. Lower downforce. We got Blaney and Bell in the semifinals, and Chase Elliott and Todd Gilliland. Can Todd Gilliland beat Chase Elliott? I don't know. It's going to be tough. Very, very tough. But Blaney and Bell should be a phenomenal matchup. Bell won the all-star race at this track last year, and Blaney and Penske as a whole is good at these smaller, flat tracks. Kind of flat. But yeah, that is Atlanta. Echopark Motor Speedway. Definitely a race. I enjoyed it. I would have liked to see Hocevar win. Or Kyle Larson not be stupid. But yeah, life goes on. May Motorsports, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more. Jake, peace. New camera angle. Hope you noticed it. Bye.